Hello and welcome back to India Business Insights. Today we are going to explore India's alcohol market. India boasts one of the world's most significant alcohol markets, with a thriving industry that generates over $67 billion dollars in annual revenue. Yet, behind this impressive figure lies a complex web of taxes, regulations, and licenses that significantly impact both producers and consumers. In this comprehensive exploration, we'll unravel the intricate tapestry of India's alcohol market, delving into the taxation structure, the legal landscape, and the types of licenses required for trading in alcoholic beverages. The taxing tale of alcohol. Taxes play a pivotal role in shaping the alcohol market in India. Excise duty, in particular, stands out as a major contributor to the pricing of alcoholic beverages. In most states, excise duty on alcohol accounts for 10 to 15% of own tax revenue, making it a substantial source of income for the government. States like Uttar Pradesh, Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, and Maharashtra top the list in terms of revenue collected from excise on liquor. The taxing of alcohol in India is further complicated by the federal structure of the country. Entry 8 of List 2, that is State List, of the 7th schedule under Article 246 of the Indian Constitution pertains to intoxicating liquors, placing the control of alcohol firmly in the hands of individual state governments. This means that each state is responsible for enacting laws governing the production, manufacturing, possession, transportation, purchase, and sale of liquor. While the state governments hold the power to regulate the alcohol industry, they do so through the issuance of various types of liquor licenses. These licenses serve as legal permits that enable businesses to engage in activities related to alcoholic beverages. Decoding the legal landscape. Each state in India has its own set of rules and regulations regarding the trade and consumption of alcohol. To legally trade in liquor, individuals and businesses must obtain specific licenses from the respective state excise department. The wide array of licenses includes L1, L3, L6, L9, L10, L13, and more. These licenses are issued for various purposes and each serves a distinct function within the alcohol industry. For example, an L1 license typically authorizes the retail sale of alcohol, while an L3 license is required for the wholesale distribution of alcoholic beverages. However, the specific regulations and licensing procedures can vary significantly from one state to another. This lack of uniformity in licensing and regulations is one of the reasons why the price of a bottle of whiskey or wine can differ substantially from one state to another. Moreover, some states in India are classified as dry states, where the sale and distribution of alcohol are entirely prohibited. Gujarat, Nagaland, Mizoram, parts of Manipur, and Bihar fall into this category. In these dry states, the consumption of alcohol is strictly forbidden, with very limited exceptions. The impact of GST on alcohol. Despite the introduction of the goods and service tax in India, alcoholic beverages remain outside the purview of this tax regime. There are two main reasons for this exclusion. State revenue. Alcohol taxes, including those on liquor and beer, constitute a substantial portion of state government's revenue, amounting to nearly INR 90,000 crores annually. To maintain the financial health of the states, it is crucial to preserve these tax revenues. Price control. By keeping alcohol outside the scope of the GST, the government can control the prices of alcoholic beverages and limit consumption. This is achieved by imposing various other taxes on inputs, raw materials, transportation, and freight charges. The cost of liquor in the GST era. Although alcoholic beverages are not subject to GST, the cost of liquor has continued to rise after the implementation of this tax regime. This increase in cost can be attributed to several factors, primarily the higher GST rates on the inputs used to manufacture alcohol. Under the previous value added tax regime, these inputs were taxed at 12 to 15%. However, post GST, most of these raw materials and inputs attract an 18% GST rate, leading to increased production costs. Manufacturers have typically passed on these higher input costs to consumers, resulting in higher prices for alcoholic beverages. Additionally, the applicability of GST on transportation and freight charges has further contributed to the increased cost of alcohol. Previously, transportation and freight were subject to a 15% service tax. But after GST implementation, they are taxed at 18%. This change has affected the pricing of alcoholic beverages even without significant alterations to VAT rates. Industry perspectives. The liquor industry in India has expressed mixed sentiments regarding the exclusion of alcohol from the GST regime. While some stakeholders believe that alcoholic beverages should be brought under the purview of GST, others argue that the current system offers state governments essential revenue sources and allows them to control alcohol consumption effectively. Exempting alcohol from GST does pose challenges for manufacturers, particularly concerning input tax credits, that is ITC. Manufacturers must pay input taxes on various raw materials and claim refunds for ITC. This process can lead to a longer working capital cycle, impacting the liquidity of alcohol producers. One notable point of contention is the categorization of beer within the tax structure. Beer, with its lower alcohol content by volume of typically around 5%, is not subject to GST. Some industry insiders argue that bringing beer under the GST could have a positive impact, particularly on the growing tourism industry. Practical considerations, that is, the sales, distribution, and licensing. Importing and selling alcoholic beverages in India involves several practical considerations. Here are some essential points to keep in mind. Advertising restrictions. Advertisement of alcoholic beverages is prohibited in mainstream media channels such as television, newspapers, and magazines. Instead, many brands use surrogate advertising as a marketing strategy. Surrogate advertising is prevalent on social media platforms including Instagram and Facebook, where alcoholic beverage brands can promote themselves more freely. Dry states in India. Several states in India, known as the dry states, have banned the sale and distribution of alcohol. In these regions, alcohol can only be served in specific settings, such as hotels. It's essential to be aware of these dry states and their specific rules and exceptions. Sending product samples. Importing alcoholic beverages into India, including product samples, involves adhering to strict regulations and standards. The product must be registered in the state where it will be consumed, and there are specific requirements for labeling and food safety compliance. Product testing. Before commencing exports to India, alcoholic beverages are often subjected to testing in an FSSAI approved laboratory. If approved, the product receives FSSAI registration and is allocated an FSSAI number. Additionally, all food and beverage shipments arriving in India may be eligible for random sample testing at the port. Product classification. Alcoholic beverages in India are broadly categorized as beers, wines, spirits that are distilled, and liquors. Each category has specific alcohol by volume, that is ABV, limits, which impact their classification and regulation. Shelf life and packaging. In India, there is a significant demand for canned alcoholic beverages, particularly beer and alcohol free beer, due to logistical advantages. The shelf life of alcoholic beverages, especially beers, is an important consideration for importers. Registration of your product. Product registration in India is specific to each state or union territory and product unit. This registration requires an annual fee and is subject to renewal upon expiry. The cost and terms of product registration may vary between states. Licenses for sales and distribution. Importers and distributors must hold various licenses, including the FSSAI licenses and licenses for alcoholic beverage distribution within specific states. These licenses are state specific and often need to be renewed annually. The complexity of the alcohol market in India, driven by taxes, regulations, and licenses, underscores the importance of understanding the nuances of this industry. Navigating the diverse legal landscape and adhering to the necessary compliance measures is crucial for businesses looking to tap into India's burgeoning alcohol market. In conclusion, India's alcohol market is a dynamic and lucrative industry, but it comes with its unique challenges and complexities. Whether you are a producer, distributor, or consumer, the taxation, legal framework, and licensing requirements have a significant impact on your experience with alcoholic beverages in India. By staying informed and compliant, you can navigate this multifaceted landscape and partake in this vibrant culture of alcohol in the country. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel, and we will see you in the next video.